Students, good evening. So let us discuss types of sentences based on grammatical classification, right? So grammatical classification of sentence focus on their structure. Grammatical classification means that is structure and arrangement, right? This is called grammatical classification, right? So I'm repeating. Grammatical classification is focused on their structure and arrangement of clauses, right? So according to structure and arrangement of clauses, we see the different sentences. Simple sentence. These are four kind of sentences. First is simple sentence. Simple sentence is okay. First sentence is a simple sentence is made up of one independent clause, which is very important. Independent means which is not dependent on another clause. And clause is what? That is group of words, right? And in which what is important? Subject and verb. That is called subject and verb and complete predicate, which is if this is a predicate, subject and predicate is there, that is called independent clause, right? Now no dependent clause. Very important definition. Simple sentence is made up of one independent clause and no dependent clause. Very important, no dependent clause. So please take care, right? So one independent clause is called sentence, simple sentence, right? Now remember, an independent clause contains a subject and predicate, as I told you. Subject and predicate, that's a independent clause, means subject and predicate, and expresses a complete thought and expresses the complete thought. On the other hand, dependent clause contains subject and verb, not predicate. This is predicate, this is verb, subject and verb, but does not express complete thought. What? That is dependent clause, and this is independent clause, right? So repeating, independent clause means that is subject plus predicate, and dependent clause means subject plus verb, which makes complete sense, which does not make complete sense. This is the difference. Here are few examples. She sings beautifully, right? Here she subject and sings beautifully, that's a predicate. Okay. The cat is subject, is taking a nap is predicate. He ran to catch, he is subject, ran to catch the bus is predicate. Okay. Now now this is very beautiful present representation of simple sentence. Simple sentences: the sun is shining brightly today, right? Independent, no dependent. The sun is subject, is shining brightly today is predicate. Simple. Predicate, why? Because there is of course verb, but apart from verb, sentence is making full or complete thought, right? Full sense, complete thought, and that is why this is called simple sentence, right? And it ends with full stop. Okay. So that is independent clause, no dependent, not dependent on other. That is simple, right? Simple sentence. Now moving to number 2, that is number 2, compound sentence. A compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses, right? Two or more independent clauses, a comma, and a coordinating conjunction, but, and, or, nor, for, so, yet. These are the, or semicolon join the clause, either a comma or conjunction, these are the examples, or semicolon, right? This is the semicolon join the sentence, means in compound sentence there are two independent clauses, two or more independent clauses, right, which are joined by either comma or semicolon or conjunction, right? Here in this sentence this conjunction, in this sentence this conjunction. This is the compound sentence. I enjoy hiking, independent sentence, one independent clause, right? My twin sister prefers swimming, independent. Two independent clauses are there, that's why two independent sentences. The sun was shining brightly, independent. Then leave so, because C is joining word or conjunction. We decided to have a family breach, again independent. My younger brother loves football, then he practices, that is also independent. So two or more independent clauses are there. Compound sentence structure is the sun is shining brightly today, the sun is shining brightly today, and this is conjunction, right? So that is conjunction, but that is independent clause, that is also. We are going to the beach, and this one independent, and that's why it is a compound sentence which is joined by end. Compound sentence, right? Compound as name suggests. Okay, now third one, complex. Name suggests that complex. A complex sentence comprises one independent clause and at least one at least means more than 2 3 dependent clause, but one independent clause is very important, and then two dependent clause or more than two dependent clause, right? That is called complex sentence. Now if the dependent clause preceded means coming before, if a dependent clause preceded the independent means independent then dependent. If a structure is like this, then a comma is needed to connect them. If independent clause is there, so independent clauses, that's a, then comma is needed to connect them due to her determination and grit, right? So when dependent clause precedes the independent clause, right? We did not attend the ceremony, that is independent clause, then a comma is needed to connect them. But if independent clause is first, then the what he is saying, that if the dependent clause precedes the independent clause, right? So that's a independent clause, then a comma is needed to connect them, right? So that is dependent clause is preceded, this is dependent clause is precedes the independent clause, means first D and then I, then a comma is needed to connect them, this a comma is needed to connect them. But if independent clause is first, this is independent clause, right? Then the clause are joined with subordinating conjunction, then this is clause, independent clause, and this is called subordinating conjunction. So joined by subordinating conjunction, right? Now, sentence is what? Complex sentence. As name suggests, a complex one. Dependent clause or independent clause. Repeating. Dependent clause or independent clause. Dependent is because the sun is shining brightly. So what? We are going to the beach. That is independent. If you read it separately, we are going to the beach, making complete sense. But here, because the sun is shining brightly, that is dependent on this sentence, because the sentence is incomplete without this sentence. This is all this is, we can say, another name is main clause, or this is ordinating clause. That is important. Now, last one is fourth category is compound, means conjunction, and complex sentence means at least one independent and dependent, 2 to 3 4, that is complex. So this is the combination of this. How? Let us see. A compound complex sentence contains two or more independent clauses, and at least one dependent clause, right? Example: we try our best, but we still. What's the condition? See, condition is compound complex sentence contains two or more independent clauses. So first, two or more independent clauses. We try our best, independent clause, right? We still did not win first place, independent clause, right? And at least one dependent clause. And we were disappointed with the result, right? So that is at least one dependent clause. So here we tried our best, right? That is number 2. Lucy went to the store, and that is independent clause. Lucy went to the store, independent clause, store, and while she was there, that is dependent clause. She ran into an old friend, independent clause, who she had not seen in the years, so they decided to grab a cup of coffee and catch up. Right? Now, Johan finished his homework early, so we decided to go for a walk. But when it started raining, we had to return. When it started raining, that is when it started raining, that is dependent clause. Johan finished his homework early, independent clause. We decided walk for a walk, independent. This is conjunction, right? And then we had to return home, independent clause. So complex and compound. Complex, independent, but dependent. This one, the sun is shining brightly today, independent. Joined by conjunction. We are going to beach, independent, but we will need to go buy sunscreen and snacks. That is dependent. But why? Because start with but. We will need to go buy sunscreen and snacks. That is dependent clause, which is dependent on this sentence is dependent clause, which is dependent on these sentences. Now that we have covered the grammatical classification, let's review sentences based on their functions. So that was different based on structure. Now this is based on functions, right? Nature. Sentence can be divided into four categories here. First is declarative, right? The declarative sentence makes a statement or provides information. They usually usually end with a period or full stop. So declarative sentence, right? Declarative sentence means that is declare something. Declarative sentence means declare. Sentence becomes structure because statement matlab, what is statement? Statement means something, some message or provide information, that is called statement. So when sentence becomes statement means there is specific message. They usually end with period is dot. This is called period. Okay, example, I live next to the school, right? Information, that is information. We are deciding whether to attend the event, or my birthday is next Monday, dot, ends with dot, right? So that is declarative sentence. This is the sentence is declarative sentence. Okay, now number 2, interrogative sentences, question mark, right? Interrogative sentence means that is number 2, question mark. Interrogative sentences used to ask question and seek information. Means they on one hand they ask question and then they seek information. It is often begins with question pronoun. Begins with question pronoun. That is called question pronoun. Question pronoun. Who, what, where, when, why, how, etc. Right? And always ends with a question mark, and always ends with the question mark. This is called question pronoun and end with the question mark. Why did you leave that there, and where did you go on vacation? How are you doing? Right? These are the interrogative. Now next, this is interrogative structure, interrogative sentence. Why did you write this sentence? So that's it. Question, right? Question is called interrogative, right? Okay, now imperative, very important. Imperative sentences give commands, instruction, requests. Imperative sentences usually do not have a subject explicitly stated, right? Instead the subject is implied means hidden, right? Hidden, implied. So the subject is implied, subject is hidden, that is implied. Why? Because in all the cases you is common. You and you. Why? Because this is face to face conversation. Face to face conversation. How? Please pass me the salt. So actually you please pass me the salt. Don't forget to buy some milk on way home from work, right? That is again instruction. And then face to face means the speaker knows whom we are talking about, whom we will talk. Then close the door, that is again face to face. So this is imperative. Write another sentence, right? So that is command. Write another sentence is command. Okay, now exclamatory, fourth one is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory is surprised feeling. Okay, now exclamatory sentences express strong emotions. It expresses strong emotions like excitement or surprise. They are used to express joy, anger, astonishment, or any other intense feelings. right? Exclamatory sentences typically end with exclamation marks, right? These are the exclamation marks. Okay, now, wow, what a beautiful sunset. That roller coaster was scary but so much fun. What a remarkable performance. This is exclamatory. This a great sentence is exclamatory, right? So that is intense feeling. Intense feeling. Okay? That is called exclamatory, right? So that is something about sentences. This is extra information I'm not going to share, but yes, okay, I'm reading for you. Just a minute. Enhance your writing with flawless sentences. Now that you understand the different types of sentences, so here we have seen 4 types of sentences. First, grammatical, 4 types of sentences grammatically. So that is first is simple sentence, right? That is simple. Then compound, right? Then complex, and compound complex. Okay, now this is 4 type, and here that is assertive, right? Negative, interrogative, and interrogative. These are the, sorry, this is not, this is first is, that is uh, declarative, right? Declarative, and then interrogative, then imperative, and exclamatory sentence, right? So I think that is enough, and you must have got idea. I'm going to repeat in my words one day, but I have taken support of this text so that you'll be able to understand something. That's why sometime I make videos on the ready-made text, but very soon I'm going to make my notes, and then we are going to discuss again types of sentences. Thank you so much. God bless you.